Welcome back, listeners, to the Daily Vibe. We ask that you please subscribe and like to hear our upcoming podcasts and interviews. If you are watching right now and you have any questions, please feel free to place them in the comments and we'll be sure to ask them. As always, my name is Kudu.
I'm that guy. We are pretty excited to announce our next guest. She's the captain of the women's ATK CSGO team and owner of the most adorable dog.
On top of all that, she does work on the front line fighting coronavirus. Thank you. And just finalized her degree in pharmacy. Please welcome Christin. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks yourself.
Pretty.
I definitely want to hear more about your dog, but let's jump right in. A little bit more about your esports career and how you first got involved.
Okay, so starting off with the hard question already. So I think, like generally, I don't have a normal story coming into esports. I was that typical A-type person, athletic, into everything like that. Full school scholarship for sports. Had my provincial colours in all my sporting codes. It's like
Sure.
5 different sporting codes I played. And then I had a really bad knee injury that took me out for 6 months. And being as competitive as I am, I saw my older brother playing a weird game in front of a little screen, and I didn't know what it was. So I sat down, naturally wanted to be better than him at it, and that's where it started off. And that was like 5 years ago.
Hell
And now you
yeah.
are better than him.
We won't say that just for his pride.
And what was that game that he was playing?
It started off with Call of Duty, but it was like back in the old line, like offline days, because we didn't have internet then.
Back in
just
the
playing as
campaign
someone.
days. Just like
Yeah, that's back in those days. And then we played that, and I finally got into the Prem division for that at a young age, and he started getting upset about that. So he moved on to Counter-Strike, which we know I now play. And I thought the game was so dumb. I was like, why are you shooting someone? There's no hit markers. Like, that's the most, like, the worst game ever. And then I just started playing, and yeah, the rest is history now.
Sure. And how long? One of the questions coming from Jenks, which kind of falls along with what you're saying. How long have you been playing CS for now?
I think competitively, I've played it for about 3 years. CS in a whole, I've played for 5 years.
Sure. Okay. So quite a while. And what are your goals now with ATK and this women's team that you're currently the captain of?
So we formed this women's team, not gender-based and things like that. Like we came as 5 girls wanting to be the best, and it doesn't matter whether or not we just happen to be girls in this community. We're wanting to put numbers up against the boys. We're wanting to show that like your gender doesn't matter, that we're not built to play against women and beat women. We're here to make a name and show that like we actually can make a presence in the scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, Warren touched on that in our show. I don't know if you watched it, but he was just like, I don't understand why there's men's and women's in esports, right? Like everyone could compete.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was pretty adamant that he wanted your guys' team to be able to easily beat the boys' team, and I was pretty hyped about that. I was like, I want to watch that, watch them get crushed.
We've done it once, but
Hell
that was
yeah.
when we played singles only. But we'll get there.
So when you first started like playing competitively and all that, what were some of the challenges that you had? So when you said you guys had like 5 goals together that you guys wanted to be the best, and did you guys approach ATK? Did they approach you? You know, how did that kind of go out?
So we are gonna have to go far back. So I first started playing back quite a while back, about 3 years back, and we just started with 5 friends, and I was like, listen, we lack a community in South Africa as a whole when it comes to the female community. We didn't have, it was odd. I got onto a server and I'm either sworn at or told to typically go back to the kitchen, or just harassed. And it was to the point where I was like, this actually needs to be normalized. Like a girl sitting at a computer and playing games shouldn't be an odd thing. Like as a young boy, you sat and you've given a PlayStation, you're given a Game Boy back in my day, and it was normal for them to play games. For us, like coming into it, we're starting off at an older age, not having those mechanics and things like that, coming into a very male-dominated community and scene where we've just found that we were very much harassed. Like I would never want to have anyone have heard the things that have been said to me as a player and as a person,
Yeah.
because as soon as they see that, they try and feed off of it. So approached one of the local tournament organizers and said, like, let's maybe get a girls, like an exhibition match going and see where it goes. I then messaged 5 people that I knew, and I was like, listen, let's make a team, let's have some fun, let's see what we can do. And that's when I messaged one of the owners that I knew back from my Call of Duty days, and I said, listen, I've got this team, there's this match coming up, do you want to like sign us with your sponsors and let's see where it goes. And that's when we first signed up to Energy Esports, which is also one of the organizations here in South Africa. And then played with them for a year, played in the Valkyrie, which was the first female event hosted by Medal States. And then after that, left for a bit and opened our options up to see if we can maybe find another organization that's willing to sign us and see the potential that we have and follow with our dream. And after that, we got signed up with Bravado Gaming. At the time, it was the same team that went with Destiny, Project Destiny, that went overseas with the boys that now are partly in Cloud9. And then after that, I actually took a break because of my studies, full-time working, and I sat back and I was like, okay, let me get my degree done, let me study. And I did that. And as I finished studying, I was like, you know what? I have time now. I'm free. Let me come back into this. Started playing more, making more of a presence. And then I actually got approached by one of the members of 80K, and they said, come, let's make a team. Like we see the market that you have, we see what you can do, we can see the potential that sponsors would look after and things like that, and what we can build. So let's make that happen, and let's see if we can feed into this dream that you have.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
It's really good to see that a lot of organizations are moving to make, I guess, women in esport the norm now. I think it's definitely something that it needs to be done. Like I don't understand, or at least I guess I know why there's an issue right now, but it's good to see a lot of large organizations fighting that issue.
Definitely.
Can you walk us through what like a typical training is for you guys as far as like practicing for esports as well as competitions, or just, you know, in general?
So we have quite a strict resume to keep hold of, because obviously we have a lot of catch up to do. We haven't been playing as much as other people have, so we want to be able to get to that point much quicker. So we generally have a 6-day training session. Each day we get on around about 7, end around about 11 at night, so quite an extensive time. And we have about 2 sessions with a private coach, another one with our very talented international coach. I don't know if you guys know about Spray as well, which helps out a lot. And besides that, just a lot of scrimming, a lot of playing tournaments. As much as we can get, we're getting our hands on there and trying to get as much game time as possible.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work, honestly. So one of the questions in chat is, have you ever thought about moving to a different game and trying to go pro in that, or are you kind of just sticking to CSGO for now?
I mean, I'd love to if I ever had the time, but like CSGO is a love-hate relationship. I love it. It hates me. It's just, it happens. But yeah, definitely one of those games where you never get bored. There's never the same situation ever again. You never put in the same place. And even though you might think that it'll turn out the same, it doesn't. There's always an unexpectancy within the game that just keeps you on your toes. And there's just so much behind it. It is probably the biggest mental game that you can play because of your positioning and everything else that comes along with the game. It's just so much more than just a little FPS game where you aim and shoot.
Okay. So moving back a little bit to you talking about just training, I see World's Smallest Violin, thanks for the question, asked how can she improve her mechanical skills in FPS games when she's just started out in them?
So what I just started out in doing, like lots of surfing, bee-hopping, getting onto server and playing that way. The only way that you're going to learn is by setting yourself up right from a good foundation. And I think that's what the female community lacks in South Africa is the actual mechanics, because there's a lot of girls that have so much potential here that have aim and they can do it, but it's just the mechanics are so stagnant and they're not fluid or smooth. So all I can suggest is just getting onto a server, making it part of your daily routine. Like, consistency is key. You get on the server every single day, you shoot your bots, you surf, you b-hop, and you go for it. And the only time you'll see it is not right now, but in the future when you actually need it to come out, you'll start seeing it improving small by small.
Mm. Sure. Do you have any
So,
questions? Yeah.
yeah. So, as the aiming routines that you do, what websites do you use, or what programs are you using right now as far as like training and aiming?
So generally, lots of deathmatch, free-for-all deathmatch. We have a very nice server that everyone plays on. It's quite rewarding. When you do well, it gives you a better rank, so it keeps you competitive. Otherwise, just private servers, shooting your bots, other things like your YPrac. They have lots of nice things like that, showing you tool and all of that. So it's very easy to practice in this game. Like, there's so many things that people have put in place for you already that you just need to sit down and do it.
Yeah. So you touched on a little bit earlier about the Metal States hosting a all women's competition. Do you think that that's something that should be done moving forward until we get like a foundation of women in esports, or would you prefer to have just a gender neutral kind of tournaments?
It's hard to be like neutral in this conversation because of like the topic creates a lot of controversy
Yeah.
because it's a 50-50. Like, I do think that there should have been a women's league. That was right, because you are making it a level playing. And I know that the many people in the community, as soon as they saw like a prize money out for a women's league, they were like, oh, this is the easiest league, the easiest money that anyone can make. But it's not generally towards that. It was sponsors that believed in a specific cause and paid towards a specific cause that made it applicable. And I think it was much needed. Like, it brought light to players that would have never ever had the confidence to even be on a server. There were some girls that didn't even know how the structure of a tournament went until we had these in place. And
Oh yeah.
the increase in women and players playing now in normal tournaments as well is just increased because they've given this opportunity of where they can express themselves freely and not feel that pressure that was on before to take part in a co-ed, because it's hard to break into that male scene, because in the male scene they only have a respect for one or two female players in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
You have to earn that respect, and the only way by doing that is by getting noticed, getting seen, playing more. So I do think it was just there to help and make sure that women are seen and that it's a safe place to play into. I don't think it should be a permanent thing, because I don't agree with separating genders. Yes, it's not stereotypically okay for girls to play games or whatever from a young age. So we do lack mechanics and stuff like that coming into it. But when it is normalized and going into the future, seeing younger players play and take part, and younger girls, like, it just shows that there is place to improve and that there shouldn't be a divide. Yes, overseas there is a women's league, there is a males league that they take part in. So being as small of a community as we are, yes, we obviously want to achieve those and move into an international placement and be able to maybe use that structure and that model that they do.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I don't think that a women's team should be, okay, we're built, we want to be and the best female team in South Africa, let's play this league. If we win, we win. I don't think that should be applicable. I think that it should be, okay, I'm going to take part in every single event I can until I earn the respect of everyone around me. Because let's be honest, earning first place in a women's league doesn't gain you any respect between anyone. You need to be able to put numbers up against some of the best teams in South Africa. And that's only going to be done by playing against the male teams.
Yeah.
That's an awesome perspective to have.
Mm.
A lot of drive.
So it seems like I'm not the only one that was curious earlier. We have a viewer asking how you came up with the gamer tag 2SSB.
Typical daddy's girl. My dad served in the military. His squadron name was 2SSB, which was 2 Special Services Battalion. So I had to just take the gaming tag.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's a pretty cool gaming tag. Most people, I mean, I have kudu. It's nothing else, but it's just an animal from the country I'm from. That's all I got. I don't have a cool story behind it.
that makes nice biltong.
Yeah, no, it does make a really good biltong. Yo, man, I miss biltong.
So I had a question about how you like I know you said how you got your start into esports, but like when did you start PC gaming? Um like when you first got injured or just like after watching your brother, and then how have you like learned from one PC into building your next one?
So I first started playing on my brother's. I probably like grade 11. So quite a few years ago, and I didn't play it very often. I'd sit down when I could get the time, when he's not playing. So the very, very rare moments. And then as he started upgrading, he'd be like, here's my scrap, this, and this, and started building me a PC. It wasn't good. I only got like 60 FPS in games, but to me, that was like the coolest, funnest thing to do. So I'd sit down and play. And then eventually now I actually did get given a very, very nice laptop by 80K, one of the Omen laptops, and I'm playing on that now, making such a difference. I get like 300 FPS, and yeah, it's just easy now.
Sure. So we spoke about a little bit earlier how you are studying. Or I mean, I guess you just finished studying. You're working full time. Last year, you were working full time, studying full time, and gaming full time. How were you able to do all of that?
With 5 hours sleep every night. Yeah, I had quite a strict schedule trying to keep up. Yeah, you're waking up at 5, 6 o'clock every morning just to like get aimbots in for maybe an hour, go for a run before work, trying to study between my lunch break, and then coming home, studying for like an hour before I got back onto the PC, played for like 5 hours, and then that would be my day the entire time, day in and day out.
Sure.
So how with I know that you're fighting coronavirus right now, and you got your degree in pharmaceuticals. So kind of go through right now what's like how you're fighting coronavirus on a day-to-day basis.
So personally, I'm down to seeing probably 5 to 6 patients a day coming in positive into the pharmacy and things like that. So it's quite hectic at the moment. I love it when people complain about wearing a mask for 5 minutes when I have to literally go through a 9-hour day wearing it, as well as everything else that I have to wear. But yeah, I mean, sore hands from the alcohol sanitizers and things like that. But obviously, just trying our best just to keep people safe and things like that. I think what we lack nationwide and worldwide is just knowledge. I think it's pure ignorance on certain information that's just creating like no awareness about what we are doing, what we're fighting, and how we can avoid actually getting the virus.
Sure.
Yeah.
Len, you're gonna have to keep speaking on my behalf here. Our cam's just cut out, and I'm trying to fix that.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Okay, so I do see that now. So as far as your goals moving on, I know you want to play with have non-gender leagues and everything, but are you guys, besides scrimmaging ATK, are you guys scrimmaging any other teams right now that are either co-ed or all male?
So when we try and get a scrim, obviously we try and get like a team that would obviously be better than us, because you only improve when you're playing against a team better than you, because it teaches you more. But at the moment we're playing, and we're in a female league at the moment. The finals are this weekend, so we're just trying to keep as much practice as we can. So playing quite a bit of games during the week, so trying to get that in, but obviously not having as much time to scrim against other teams right now. But generally it'll be male-based teams, because I think there's like 2 co-ed teams within South Africa.
So it's hard to find people to just scrim against you. Now, do you get a lot of pushback from teams when you ask to scrim against them?
Some of the teams, I must say, like the mentality throughout South Africa is changing, and throughout the community. There isn't no longer a thing of, oh, you're a female team, we don't want to play against you, or things like that. It still exists. I mean, you get into a Faceit game, you won't get picked because you're a girl. If you do get picked, they swear at you, call you bots and things like that. But it happens. Unfortunately, it's part of what you sign up for when playing games, apparently, as a female. But yeah, as I said, they it's a double-edged sword, because you can't come into the community, say that you one of the best female players in South Africa or in a team, and then not actually show that. I don't want to be known as just like a female gamer. I just want to be one of the better players in South Africa, and I think everyone should strive for that, especially as a female in the scene. It shouldn't be of a gender based. It should be, let me come in and make waves and earn respect, because there's no respect that's going to be given free. You need to earn it.
So do you find that it's pretty hard just networking as a female in the gamer community in general?
I do find that hard, because obviously you get the stereotypes of, if you are doing well or if you do get picked up, that,
'Cause you're a
oh, there must
female.
be something happening between the owner and someone in the team or something like that. That happens quite a bit. Or people just being very skeptical, saying things. This community likes to talk.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's at the end of the day, your gameplay says everything. And if you're not putting up numbers and if you're not showing stats and things like that, then you need to look at it. It shouldn't be a community-based thing of what people say. If no team or higher tier team's going to play against you, keep playing until you are able to play against them. And you see them in a tournament, you see them in a final, a qualifier, whatever you see them.
Okay.
So how do you deal with that kind of pushback, as far as, when you're online and having males talk to you like that? Is there anything that you say, or do you just say, I'm gonna be better than you, and that's gonna be my way of getting back?
So I used to get upset about it, but that's back quite a while back. But now, you know what? I'll go along with the joke. You tell me to make a sandwich, I'll ask you what flavor you want. Do you want cheese, ham, toasted, not? I'll even make you offer coffee. But I don't mind. At the end of the day, it's just, I'm here. I'm gonna have fun, whether you grumpy or not. And you come to take out your anger on a little girl playing games. That's your problem, not mine. I'm gonna sit here. And then most of the time, at the end of the day, it's the people that say the biggest stuff about you are the first ones to say congratulations when you do something well.
Yeah.
So if I get onto a server and someone immediately starts swearing at me and calling me names, or I'll just walk away with a nice 30, 40 kill frag and then just be done with it. It's fine.
Yeah. They'll eat their own words at that point.
Awesome.
Exactly.
So we mentioned a little bit earlier that you have a ridiculously adorable dog. You want to tell us a little bit about the dog's name, how you named that dog, and like what type of dog it is? Because I mean, if you guys, Chad, if you haven't seen this,
Just go get him.
go on Kristen's Twitter. It is so flippin' cute.
Yeah, so I got a nice little tiny puppy, about like this. It's a little toy pom cross a Jack Russell. So it is very naughty and has so much attitude. But yeah, so we picked up a toy pom a few years ago, and we rescued it. Its cage number was C4, so we named that one C4. And when I saw this puppy and got this puppy recently, I was like, okay, it has to be named AK, because now we're starting our artillery now.
Oh,
So now we have C4 and AK.
that's so flippin' adorable. Is the dog near you? Because I see people in chat are asking if they can see the dog, but I don't know if it's near you.
It is outside at the moment getting a bit of sun.
Sorry,
I
chat.
don't want making noise.
Unlucky. You're gonna have to go check out her Twitter. Make sure you follow her, and then you can have a look at the dog.
So balancing all of that and being a dog mom, how often do they is that like your other focus? Like how do you have gaming, a full-time job, and dogs? Like that must be the most stressful life going for
You know
you
what?
right now.
Everything's about balance in life. You can't be outbalanced, because as soon as you outbalance, you don't play well. Mentally, you don't do well if all you do is sit in front of a computer every day. You need to get out. You need to have something else you're passionate about, especially the fact of like, yeah, gaming can be a hobby, but at this point, it's more than a hobby. Like potentially, I want this to be my career. I want this to be my full-time job. So at work, you're not going to just stay at work the entire day. You're going to have a lunch break. You're going to go home. You're going to go and do something else. And that's what you need to do when it comes to gaming as well. I think that's where lots of people lose themselves. You're going to hit burnout. And when you do, you don't want to hit burnout as an esports athlete, because it's probably the worst thing that you can go through. And you can avoid that by simply just having balance. I mean, with my girls, I tell them all the time, like, life happens. Life needs to come first. So if you can't make practice and you can't make a scrim, that's okay. Like, life comes first. Go and take that. If you're not doing well today and you're not having a good day, just tell me, because it is a mental game. You cannot come into this game and be emotional. I mean, some of the most emotional CSGO players, let's take Kenny S, for example, very emotional player, gets very, very highly upset in games. And as soon as he gets upset, he doesn't play well. It's the same thing for many players. You need to be able to keep your mindset the same. And everyone is so sick and tired of me hearing, like me saying it, but whatever controls your emotions controls you. So if you're going to allow the opponents to control your emotions by swearing at you and it's getting in your head, they're controlling you. They're controlling your gameplay, and you aren't able to play to your full potential that way.
Yeah, no, that's a incredible insight into that, and we've had both Corsa and Warren come on this podcast, and they spoke a lot. I mean, we heard a lot about the stuff that ATK does for their athletes. You know, looking after their mental health as well as their physical health. I was hoping you could touch a little bit on your teammate Shaz or Sharron. With the whole incentive that ATK Arena hosted back in May, Kidneys for Shaz.
Yeah, so I love Sharron so much. So I'm trying to not going to get emotional because of my work. So Sharron, everyone knows Sharron in South Africa. She is a title-winning player. She went to Copenhagen in 2015 and won a female event there with Team Karma, and she's come back. She currently is in kidney failure, and we're just trying to, and ATK has been such a blessing as well. We're just trying to get awareness about this, because so many people don't know what is actually going on. People don't get to see how hard it is for her, and it is. We sit in practices and we have to take time out because she's just struggling to breathe, or there's days where she's out of it because of her health is so bad, because she's just needing to go to bed after dialysis and things like that. So ATK just hosted a nice weekend where we tried to get as much donations as possible to be able to pay for her medical bills that she had. And she had a lot of medical bills because it is a very expensive thing. I mean, for her mom to take care of is a huge thing. And yeah, we're trying to raise awareness for Sharron, because if anyone ever deserves a second chance at life, of where she's able to just take life and live it to the fullest, it's Sharron. More awareness that we can get, and just someone coming and saying, listen, let's get tested, let's see if I can donate you a kidney, because that's the thing in life, like, you can live with one kidney, you can donate your kidney, and especially for guys, it's much easier as a male to donate a kidney. And if that happens, there's, like, the sky's the limit for this team, and for Sharron as well. Just in life, there's so many times we sit down and we're like, yeah, I had a hard day at work, and she'll go, yo, guys, I'd love to know what it is like to work again, because she can't work right now because her health is so bad. I mean, since Corona's been around, she's not allowed out at all because she's obviously already got such problems. So she's been tucked away from the beginning of the year. So as much as we can be like, oh yeah, we'll go out to the shops and stuff like that, she's stuck at home, not able to go out. And the fact of the matter is, it shouldn't be a life like that. She's young. She's got so much potential. I mean, that girl's mind is huge. Like, I sit there and I just admire her for how much she knows about the game and how much she's able to pass on to us, because she's got about 15 years experience behind her.
Yeah.
So it's, I just get so overwhelmed when it comes to Sharron, because I definitely am so happy with what ATK has done for her. And I just can't wait for the future, because I keep thinking, like, you know what, one more week, something's going to happen, and that girl's going to get her second chance.
Yeah, that's really incredible to hear. So for any of the listeners, how, if they want to help or get involved, how can they do that?
So just reaching out to ATK. There is, if you wanting to donate in any way, there is a place where you can donate to help with the medical bills. Otherwise, just, it's spreading awareness, just getting that awareness out of, this is what kidney failure is, this is who Sharron is, this is what she's done. I think that's the biggest issue at the moment, is just people not being aware of what has actually happened and is happening. And on how they can help. And like, if not for Sharron, for someone else, signing up for donating organs and things like that, you can save someone and you can help someone improve their life. And yeah, it just takes a few minutes to do that, and just a little bit of research, or just
Yeah.
reaching out to someone from from the ATK organization, and they'll be able to assist you in any of it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, listeners, if any of you guys can help, be sure to check out ATK, send them a message, maybe give a donation if you can. I'm sure.
Where do they give that donation to?
It goes directly to Sharron's mother to pay for the medical bills. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you get to that donation page?
It's that should be on the links of the ATK. They also are hosting and selling the face masks that say hashtag kidney for Shaz, which all the proceeds also do go to Sharron as well.
Okay,
Cool. We'll be sure to check that out. So, as the captain of the team, and you spoke a little bit earlier, you really care about your girls. What are some things that you guys try to do outside of CS:GO to kind of create like a camaraderie between all of you? Um, so Leda and I recently picked up a game called Among Us, and we've been really having a ball in there. Like, we want our entire everyone that works at Vybin Network, we want to play it as like a company and try and create that. Is there anything like that you girls do together?
Yeah, we actually had a night the other night where we played Cards Against Humanity.
Nice, that's a
It
great game.
ended very well. Yeah, I mean, we at the end of the day, we all get along quite well. We understand, like, when work time's work time, your colleagues, and then when outside of that, you guys we're friends, and we
Mhm.
are, which works really well within the team. And we're able to section off, because I think another thing that the community struggles with is oh, because you're not my friend, you can't be in my team. So it makes networking very hard to get into a team, because it has to be who you know to get into an organization or a team. But we try and shy away from that mentality that business is business and play is play. And if you're wanting to take this seriously, if you're wanting to make it a career, then you sit down. Sometimes you're not going to get along with your colleagues. Sometimes you don't want to be at work. Sometimes you just have to shut up, bite the bullet, and play. Like, that's the type of mentality that you need to start bringing in. You cannot treat esports as a side little piece and then still expect to do it as a career, or for any organization or sponsor to take you seriously.
Yeah.
So how often are you at work and you're just like, oh my god, I would much rather be at home playing CSGO, or I feel like I could be doing this to improve myself?
I think if I had time to think about it, I would. But I promise you not. I don't even sit down in a day until I get home. So
Sure. That must be absolutely exhausting. So outside of CS:GO, is there a specific game out there that you love playing?
I'm actually stuck in Ark at the moment, just
Okay.
because it's such like a mindless game. It doesn't take away from your aim or anything like that. You can just sit and make as many dodos as you want.
That's awesome. That's a cool game. I've only ever seen the trailer of it, but it looks like a ton of fun.
It is, especially when you play with the right people. I think my life saying, it doesn't matter where you are, it matters who you're with. So
Hmm.
people make it.
Sure.
Yeah, that's true. I was gonna say, playing Among Us with Josh and then Courtney, his fiance, it was like, it was so nice when we're like done playing with COD to just like relax on a game where we don't have to worry about, you know,
It's
well,
not as
not dying.
stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still a little stressful, but it's not like, oh my god, if I move outside, I'm gonna die right away, or if I
Mm.
lose, it's like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, but you seem extremely obviously passionate about your community and the esports community in Africa. What really kind of stands out to you about the esports scene in Africa that you really just love?
I genuinely think that we have some of the best talent that the world could see. Like, we are so looked over as a community all the time. We don't get the international events like other places do, and I think we're being slept on. To be honest, I can name like 6, 7 players off the top of my head that deserve that international stage and that deserve to be doing better. Like we're such a close knit community because we're so tiny that you can only be as good as your best player as well. As much as they say, oh, your weakest link, but the thing is, in order to improve, you need to be playing against better players. If we had a bigger community, and that's why I like the initiatives of like going and taking people overseas, letting them grow, coming back, teaching the community at home and things like that. We just need an opening, just one opening to be able to get our footing into the international scene so that we can actually see players doing, and like, for example, Sonic, JT, they're out there, they're making their name for themselves, and we have so many more of those players sitting here on a daily basis grinding to get there one day.
Yeah. So moving forward, what are you hoping to see then for the African community?
I'm just hope that there is something that gets inclusive, something that includes us in international events, gets us out more and not stuck to a few, one or two players the entire time going out, or where it has to be that an organization has to pay out their teeth to get a team overseas. I'd like it that there's actual organizations that look and say, there is potential there. There's the gold mine. Let's get in. Let's see what that has, the potential that the community holds here.
Yeah.
So
You
just
got- Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry.
Continue. Yeah, continue.
No, don't worry. I think I was done.
Oh, I was just gonna ask, like, have you guys started like presenting ideas to ATK as well as like other organizations to be like, what can we do to come together and say, hey, Europe or internationally, how do we
Mm.
become a part of this? Like, are you in those talks?
So obviously Warren is such a good businessman. Like he is making such big moves for South Africa as a whole, and it's not even just ATK. It is for South Africa.
Yeah.
The man's got the best interest at heart for all of the community, and it's so much more than just Counter-Strike. It's every code that he can get his hands on. He will try and push. At the moment, as our team, we obviously had to focus and wanting to focus on earning the respect of our peers and being able to make a name for ourselves within this community and be able to potentially one day reach the top 5 teams in South Africa, because that's our goal at the moment. We just want to, and we know we'll be ready for anything that's thrown against us in the international scene when we can keep up with the top 5 teams in South Africa.
Yeah. Oh, that's absolutely incredible. Well, we really just want to honestly thank everyone for tuning into this podcast. Thighflex, Nobody, Kosa, Tristan, really appreciate the follow, guys. Hopefully we are able to keep you entertained. It was really a lot of fun having you on, Christin. Thank you really so much for just coming on and allowing us to question you about everything that you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
We do have some guest streamers coming on soon, so hopefully you guys will be entertained by that. But if you guys could follow and join the vibe, that'd be great. We'll be uploading our conversation with Christin on YouTube, and you can see our past broadcasts as well. So please leave a like, share it, and for next time, cheers.